Testing 1, 2. Are we good? All right. Welcome to the Thursday show. Showing up a little. I'm never on track anymore. I don't have a scheduled date. I just kind of go whenever I want to. And it's Thursday, and I kind of felt like going live tonight and showing the vinyl community one of my best hauls of the year. I'm going to show about a dozen or so records, and the last three, I'm just going to tell you right now, I might be showing about $600 worth of records. Because I like to build it up and show you, the general stuff first, and then the gems at the end. So to keep you hanging on. But anyways, welcome. I do have my coffee here tonight. I have my cold coffee. When it starts getting hot outside, I don't normally always drink a full pot of coffee in the morning. Sometimes I do, but when it's hot outside, sometimes I'll just drink a half a pot and then I'll put the rest in like the freezer. And then later in the day, I will have some cold coffee. Anyways, welcome to everyone here. Say hello, shout out. Would love to know who's here early on. I've been busy with records, as one does with his day. Anyways, could show you here as I log on to discogs.com. And I've been going wild with the 45s. So I'm not going to show you everything. I know Mazzy on his stream had maybe a big 45 fest the other day. I was thinking about jumping on that bandwagon and decided not to, because I will be honest with you, I am quite exhausted with 45s. But if any of you want to check out Wild Dot Records on Discogs, you can see some of the fun that I've been having with the 45s. So, what I've been going through, my father collected all kinds of 45s. Kind of, you don't really understand a collector, even if it's your family member, until you go through their records sometimes. And I will tell you, my father was quite mysterious at times. So I have, been able to get to know him through discovering his record collection. But I will kind of show you my just a few. I do get a little nerdy with the company sleeves there, and we got a little Junior Parker on Blue Rock here, and then finding, sometimes it's tough to find like an original Tamla sleeve. I find other Motown sleeves a little more easier than like an old original Tamla sleeve. So matching up one of those with the labels is always nice. But yeah, just doing my best here. This is the Royalettes Blue Summer and Willie the Wolf, and just kind of going through the Soul 45s and picking out. I guess I did pick out the company sleeves because I do get especially nerdy with that. Now, I do want to let you know, my father not so much nerdy. I think he would take what he could get. Sometimes if it seems like if he had one that was already in a company sleeve, he would go ahead and go with it. But I've been having fun going through matching up all the 45s with the company sleeves, and that's been my way to get to know this collection and identify with some of these songs. I do got here Roddy Jackson on Specialty, so I've got my sights on someone new. This Some of these are a total fire. Like if I am uh, throwing out like this Preston Epps trio record. Some of these, if I'm pulling out, I guess I did have especially a fun time with these. But setting up the side, I got a little rockabilly crate going on, and then a garage psych crate going on. But yeah, the company sleeves, I am especially dorky about it. I guess I will. I'm not really set up right now. I know I wanted to be more set up for showing and playing you these, and Maybe soon enough. I do got one on the Nike label. Isn't that crazy? You know, I've made enough jokes about a Nike pressing plant. Well, yeah, somebody beat me to it. Anyways, I will say I spent the better part of the last few weeks going through 45s. I've listened to probably, well, according to Discogs, I have over 1,500 listed. A's and B sides, I've listened to probably over 2,000 songs in the last few weeks. So keeping me busy. Listening to records does get quite exhausting. Anyway, we got some people here. Looks like we got maybe Richard James here. Brandon, welcome. Hiya Williams, still at work in Sydney at decent enough time of day for you. So you should have plenty. Hopefully this is some entertainment for you. But good to have you here. Richard James, the boy that Santa Claus forgot. If he remembers you every year, you seem to be a little bit old to be getting Christmas presents. I'm not sitting here being a little crybaby about it. But anyways, welcome, Richard James. You are unhidden from the channel. And I have been exhausted, I guess, ever since that last record show. I haven't been going out and about like I usually have, but I did go to Ashland. You guys may have seen like the warm-up stream to this on Saturday, and cheers, drinking in tan limes by Cross Train here at local brewery. So double drinking coffee, iced coffee and iced brewery. Anyways, been a little exhausted since the last record show. Hit up Ashland last weekend. Great haul. I do want to mention, I don't know if we got Ruth Ann 7 hanging out, but I want to show this again. This, according to Discogs, falls under the space age category. This is a fun instrumental record from, I think, the late 50s. Ruth Welcome, and as I showed this record last week, Ruth Ann 7, who I believe is a self-proclaimed Wiccan, popped in at the same time. So if you're here, Ruth Ann 7, Ruth, welcome. But it is ironic. I didn't even catch that until I was watching my own replay, but I did want to show that. And then I did, pick this up and showing it again briefly because I mean, I always knew I wanted a copy. It was on my want list. I never really paid attention to the value of this or if it had gone up or not. When I looked this up after the stream, the lowest copy was going for over $100, and quite impressive. I didn't know it was getting that high in value, but cool Ahmad Jamal record, a bit on the funky side. Mentioned there was a Jay Dilla sample on there. The last song on the album, Swallowland, I believe. I believe I'm saying that right. And then there is another one, I think, on side one. There's a Jay-Z sample, too. So there you go. Ahmad Jamal, cool little jazz record. Him a bit on the funkier side there in the mid-'70s. But awesome find. I think one of the more rare Ahmad Jamal records. But anyway, that was Ashland last Saturday. And now I'm going to be showing you Ashland like maybe last Wednesday. So a week from yesterday. So I've had these records for about a little over a week now. Now, like I said, one of my best hauls all year. I'm going to get this started off a little lightly because I do want to build this up. But yeah, this is a random trip out there, I guess, responding to a Facebook Marketplace ad. I don't know how many of like my friends have gone out to check this guy out, but I will say there's 3 records. So if you guys like grails, there's that buzzword again. Hang on, because I got 3 records, maybe about $600 worth. You be the judge of that. But anyways, this is a great haul. One of the best single hauls that I've had all year. And let me kind of just even set these off to the side here. A few of those anyway. First one, I guess I'll show you. Chris and Dale, The Music in Us All. This is like a psych folk record. I just sort of took a chance on this, threw it into my stack. Now, I guess briefly, let me mention that the guy seemed to be like a vendor, a dealer. And from what I could tell, he had a lot of overgraded stuff, overpriced stuff. So maybe he was having some trouble, but I went in there. I did sort of take my little inspection look into it. I let him know that I was a dealer, and we did strike a deal. I got a great deal for these. I'm not going to mention what I paid. I guess I will mention, to those who personally know me here in town, you guys might think that I paid a little too much for this stuff, but you guys watching me here in the VC could be jealous if I mention the price. So, to be fair to both sides, I won't even mention it. But anyway, Chris and Dale taking a chance on this. This was some psych folk. There, I just threw it into the stack. It was the first record that I played when I got home. A nice listen. I did read some reviews of this on Discogs, and someone says if you let this record sink in, this is a pleasant surprise. So I've only given it one listen. I did look it up in the Acid Archives, not in there, but they did release another album or maybe some more music as Chris and Dale, just like one word, as like that is their group name, perhaps. But there you go, Chris and Dale from the first, one of the first records that made it into the stack there. Also, picked this up to Marlena Shaw out of different bags. This is just going to be like a 70s reissue. I don't think it's like, too valuable or anything, but gave it a spin. Good record anyway. Dig some of that Marlena Shaw, some of that funkier. I guess there might be some of that going on a little bit here, some of that 70s funk. Anyways, pick this up too. David Allan Coe, who recently passed. This is Once Upon a Rhyme. I think year maybe 75 says so the back. And David Allan Coe passed. I've never really been a huge fan, but with me like kind of carrying country records on my shop, I do look after his stuff to, keep keep in stock for people. He has been accused of being a racist. I don't know what any of your opinions are on that. David Allan Coe, a racist. He's got some songs on some of these Columbia records that might make you think he's not a racist. But on some of his earlier albums, I think he did use maybe some language or, maybe some lyrics that might made you to lead that he is racist. Also has been seen on one of his record covers holding a Confederate flag. I think that might be the reason why they haven't really like reissued a lot of his stuff over the years. But David Allan Coe, I know some of his records were kind of harder to find at the time of his passing, this being one of them. I didn't like blow out of him or anything, but I might auction them off, and we'll see doing that stuff on eBay here soon enough. But anyways, catch up with the chat here. Looks like maybe Richard James is having some fun. Anyways, Rice Fields, welcome. What's up, William? You making bank on trading records? Yeah, I had a pretty good month, after eBay, and then Discogs was pretty solid after that too. So so many people rediscovering short run presses of the 70s featuring guys in leisure suits on the cover. Yeah, no, I've always picked those types of records up on the side. If you're referencing this, Chris and Dale, I don't know. I always enjoy listening to like a personable, or this is something like created by real people, not controlled by record labels. So I like that sort of experience, which is why I pick those up. Sometimes they're duds, but they're typically not very expensive when I find them. So there you go. And then the Acid Archives is, I didn't realize like how many of those records I had actually collected over the years, maybe sold through some of those. But anyways, thanks for the compliment, Richard James. Always like to think that I have a good stream. Anyway, I picked this up too from the guy. This isn't an original press, but Mitzi Gaynor sings lyrics of Ira Gershwin on Verve. Yes, this is going to be some jazz vocal. Mitzi Gaynor, who was in South Pacific, and she's on that cover, kissing the guy or they're gazing into each other's eyes. So Mitzi Gaynor is in that movie, and then the main performer of the songs on South Pacific. But this is, I don't know, this was like something common for pretty much every actress to do a jazz vocal pop record. So I guess originals of this are kind of valuable, maybe like a $70 to $100 record. This is a repress, maybe a 60s repress. But since that's sort of like the stuff I'm sort of interested in, I picked up this Mitzi Gaynor. Interesting enough. I liked it anyway. Also, I pick up these when they're in great shape, or one of them in particular, Sammy Davis Jr. on Decca. And you'll see that I have these little Decca things hanging out of it. When I got these, they were actually like all, like they hadn't even ever been opened. So near mint, both vinyl, and the Decca. So the Reprise stuff, real easy to find. I don't know that there's anything like too valuable, but this one in particular, not a lot of these on Discogs. I have sold this for a pretty decent amount, but this is my first near mint copy. So cool having this. I mean, I think I don't know that maybe a little bit less poppy. I think maybe it got maybe a little bit more upbeat on Reprise, but this is a very mellow listen. It's all over but the swinging by Sammy Davis Jr. Also picked up, still haven't listened to this one, but Boy Meets Girl, featuring Gwen McCrae. So picking those up, actually very excited to find these. And then this was a vendor. Few of these things he knew what he had. I don't know that he knew or I don't know. I've said, I've sold this for a lot of dough, but I don't think it's like everyone's like out there looking for it. Like if I were to auction it off on eBay, it might sell for like $20 or something. But anyway, here's another one. I'm just going to show you, and you know what I say. If anyone's hip to this, like Richard James, please say something. But Argenta and the London Symphony Orchestra do España. So this is Atolfo Argenta, the conductor. And so the guy I bought this from, a vendor, and I don't know if this will make up well in the camera, but he etched $350 on this. So originals of this, I guess, are legitimately a $350 record. It makes me wonder, like, how many times maybe I passed this up in a dollar bin, or I was even thinking, like, to the guy out there who found this in a dollar bin, maybe he's into cheesecake and then like got this home and figured out he had a gem. Anyway, any of you, I don't know. I listened to the record. Great record. So this isn't an original press. He etched on here $350. What he has is a 94 Speaker's Corner press, which actually sounds fantastic, but not an original, not a $300 record. And then I guess on the second side, unfortunately, there was a skip, so I might have to do like an eBay quick flip on this. But I don't know. I'm not like a classical music expert or anything, but like I said, anyone out there who is, maybe 4D Man might have a word on this, that I may not know about. But it does, like, looking at this cover doesn't really strike you as a $300 record. So, but this Speaker's Corner reissue, 94. So they have kept this, in print, or it has been in demand. But it's a classical record, good record. I'm gonna open up my window here briefly. There we go. Let some air in. Anyways, Fred, welcome here to the show. Let me scroll up a little bit. Have I listened to the new McCartney? I haven't. Nah. No. I guess don't ask my opinion because I don't have one on it. Fred, welcome. Boy, that's an old Sammy Davis Jr. pre. The Decca stuff is the stuff that I don't see too often, and I guess that was a discovery upon acquiring my father's records, and I listed it, and it sold so quickly that I was like, better be on the lookout for that one. So, that's kind of the cool thing, and I like talking about that here in the VC because that sort of easy listening jazz. I don't even know that it really gets a lot of like buzz on like the jazz bums, or maybe the Wax will talk about some of these titles a little bit, but I think I got a good game for that. So maybe that's why, I there you go. Sam, pick up that because you're watching this channel. If you guys are out on the lookout for records, check out some of that Sammy Davis Jr. stuff. It is really great stuff. And I'm not really like a huge Frank fan, but or especially like Dean Martin. Sometimes I'm like, just take the record off the turntable. But that Sammy Davis Jr. record is pretty solid. But anyways, a pre-glass, yeah. Also, check out Butthole Surfers, Cream Corn from the Socket of Davis. Anyways, I don't know why I said that, but 2 copies, very impressive, Richard James. Would love to see your record collection if you want to come up here later and spit your knowledge. I'm troll friendly, so I could take a jab. Would love to see your records. I think it'd be a VC first. And with the new Paul McCartney album, title sounds like a gay BDSM club. He had some like greatest hits that was out recently. Yeah, I only listened to that. I think it was out in the like within the last year, maybe. I think maybe last summer it came out, but I don't keep up with the Beatles shit, man. Sorry. I'm not. Joe Mayo would have a better answer for you. In fact, I think he's probably touched up on that. But any Beach Boys records, of course. I've acquired some here recently. I have sold enough recently. I feel like, yeah, no. Did you even catch on the channel on the shorts page? We had a little Beach Boys. Let me find it for you. uh, you know, before I finish off showing off my records. Um, no, here on the PV channel, thanks for the timeout, Richard James. But I want to mention it's Bay Tide Month here on the PV Pumping Vinyl channel, where we're just, uploading shorts of, we got the South Pacific here and, just having some fun. It's summer vibes, summer waves, positive vibes. So just having fun with the summer madness, as Cool and the Gang would say. But we did the swimsuit edition of the Top of the Pops here the other day for Bayside Month or Bay Tide Month. I haven't figured out which one I want to say, but these are fun. Actually, what these really are is these are all leftovers from my little AI project from like six months ago or so. And AI is like getting you to like they want you to subscribe to everything now. And it's like, I'm not paying for this shit. So, and then this is the Beach Boys one. So that's what we did this week. That was a fun little surfer girl. So there you go, Richard. Glad you could enjoy that here. But anyways, it's Bay Tide Month here. And actually I actually got one banned today, and it even like knocked the wind out of my sails, but it even almost made me not even want to go live. But my promotional video meme was canceled. So I swear the worst stuff happens to me here up on this channel. But yeah, no, yeah, no, the McCartney record. Okay. Anyway, is that the name of it? Anyway, uh, there's a Beach Boys record on Pickwick that's highly collectible. I think it's a live one. Yeah, no, there are some random Pickwick records that do go for a lot. I don't know the Beach Boys one that you're talking about, Arnie, but welcome Arnie to the show. Always cool. I saw some of your wax comments. I don't know why I had the waxed on, but it's maybe I have them on in the background. because I'm waiting for him to get all irked up when Arnie enters and trolls him. Anyways, I'm hunting for the Beach Boys sunflower. I actually found one last summer. Actually, it was right after Brian Wilson had passed, and I just sold it on to the next guy. But yeah, no, crazy how sometimes I had a lot of luck finding like a sunflower, and then I found 2 copies in the dollar bin of Beach Boys Friends uh, right after Brian Wilson passed. So pretty cool. And welcome, Ruth Ann Seven. I don't know if you caught early on. I did show this record again. Ruth, welcome. So welcome, Ruth. So it was funny because when you entered the chat last week, I was showing that record, and it didn't click to me that a self-proclaimed Wiccan like yourself popped in at the same time. Um, you know, wow, I'm looking for friends. Good luck to you, Richard. There's people out there for you. I believe you. I believe in you. I'll be your friend. If you want to come in and hang out and chat some records, but anyways, you got Ruth Ann Seven here as your friend. So, anyways, I will I will get it going on with the record talk. So, yeah, no, had a great little trip to Ashland last week, and well, I guess I'm down to the last 4, and I think I said the last 3 were going to be about $600 worth of records. So, I don't know if you those some of these records that I showed could go between like 20 and 40 to $50 maybe, but these records here are a little bit more on the rare side. I guess a couple of these I should just show together because Willie Nelson records. Of course, he didn't find his footing until like the 70s when he could be a true outlaw. But finding the early stuff on RCA, these still really are great records. Uh, um, Make way for Willie Nelson. Sorry, I don't have all my country record titles. They didn't always make the most memorable record titles, especially like some of the early ones on RCA. But still a great record, a clean cut Willie. And then, well, this was awesome to find. Here's Willie Nelson on Liberty, in like practically near mint condition. So this is from I think the year '63. Um, Never seen one. I mean, I look out for Willie records everywhere I go. One of the first spots I even check in the country section, and I found other stuff on Liberty, like even a few times. But my first copy of here's Willie Nelson, and incredible shape. Um, Let me show you the jacket a little bit. I guess I do show. I mean, is a Willie Nelson record a grail? Gosh, I don't know. If you're in a catch 'em all with his records, this would be not an easy one to get. So my first copy, and there you go, man. The cleaner cut Willie Nelson. Maybe the outlaw stuff is a little bit better, but when it's owning the rare record that sometimes makes these records so great. But anyways, yeah, early Willie Nelson, found some of that there, and then also found this in the fella's garage as well. He had a lot of jazz, a few other Coltrane. He had a Soul Train, and it was quite overgraded. In fact, a lot of his jazz, he did take a stab at like grading. I did mention this record here earlier, maybe I don't know if it was earlier in the year or maybe last year, but I went to Topeka and a guy had this on the wall for $150 in VG. Um, anyways, not VG. It was in super beat up. His copy down in Topeka was in super beat up shape. Anyway, this copy here in Ashland was in great shape. I guess I could, if you guys want to check this out, I'd give it a strong VG. Whoever was the original owner marked the labels, but they didn't do, they, treated the vinyl pretty well. No background noise on this guy at all. I would give this a strong VG, and I got a good price on this too. compared to the $150 down in Topeka. I did not pay nearly that much for an even better copy. It does have a split at the bottom, but yeah, Lush Life. I mean, I'm no Coltrane expert. I have a lot of luck with jazz, only because I don't think I don't hold my breath out on it, or it's not like I've been like I didn't like when I saw this record, I didn't freak out over it. So I think that's kind of why I got a good deal. It's like I have learned, uh, you know, uh, it's not good to blow your I don't know what I'm trying to say, like blow your cool on especially on a Coltrane record. Yeah, Lush Life. I've really only given this a listen. Uh, this is not as like peppy as Soul Train. This is more, mellow. Great rainy day record, and I guess maybe it was raining today. I had this on a little bit earlier, but yeah, great copy, Lush Life from '61 on Prestige. So yeah, no, picking up some Coltrane rarities. I guess yeah, I've had some luck with jazz. Of course, I've auctioned off a few of them and haven't had the same luck, but anyways, we got someone with a wrench, a vinyl, the vinyl conformity. I guess I didn't know that. Excuse me, I guess maybe we got someone who changed his name. Let me just check out who you are. And oh, okay, I gotcha. It's Six Beetle. So anyways, excuse me. Sorry for that, guys. And I lost my train of thought. But welcome, Six Beetle. I guess we're missing Dave, the pickup artist. A little surprised he's not here, but yeah, no, that Coltrane in good shape is a fine. Yeah, I give it a strong VG. Here's the thing: is the guy had some of these records graded, and he has an overgrading issue. Like I said, I was going through some of his jazz, and like his copy of Soul Train, which I have a copy of that, but he had the same pressing that I have. And I looked at the record because I kind of wanted to compare like what he had to mine, and he had VG written on it. And my rule of thumb is like if the record has wear that looks like it would play with background noise, you got to go G plus. So what this guy was doing, so I don't want to maybe I should be careful. I don't want to like dox people, but he tried selling online, and it kind of sounds like, or I guess in our conversation, he said he hates Discogs, and he said like Discogs, um, you know, he says Discogs gets too like too anal or something, or they're too like conservative or too like nitpicky, or I don't know what word he said. I mean, I think people on Discogs are a little bit more liberal than they should be. Um, but yeah, no, that seemed to be his problem. Was he told me he maybe was getting tired of it, or he had a lot of returns. And that's the thing, is like I showed this record here earlier, and he had a 350 little etch on the record. And I think some people look up a record online and they see that a pressing sold for $300 and like, that's what I want for my copy. And they don't know anything about the press. But like, I had to point out to him that this was a Speaker's Corner press, so I ended up getting a solid deal on it. I mean, I don't know if I popped his bubble. I thought maybe he wanted $300. I ain't giving him $300 for that pressing. But anyways, no, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That I think has killed the online market. Is you got a lot of people who get these like rarities, and they want high dollar amount on them, and they end up popping someone's bubble when they ship it to them, and it's just they end up popping their own bubble when you got to accept a return, deal with negative feedback or whatever. So anyways, I you don't want to be rude to people like this, because you can talk to them and be like, I don't necessarily agree with the grading here, Or for example, I said, do you mind if I listen to this before I decide to buy it? And he was set up in his garage and had listening capabilities. So you want to strike a deal. He's got some records you want, and you don't want to be rude and be like, "That's not BG Plus, a hole," because the more you do this, you realize who you're dealing with. You realize how to deal with another guy who's a vendor, and I think we made each other a little. We both pretty happy. I unfortunately, a couple of the records I had some skips. However, I had like the Willie Nelson record. I barely paid. I did not pay very much for that. So very happy about this. But anyways, it's time for the last record. Now I mentioned about $600 here. So let's just do a quick measurement here. I don't know. What would you guys say this? I'd say in the shape it's in, maybe $100 record. And this record right here, I mean, I looked it up on Discogs. This is practically near mint. Seeing what people have, are listing it for, and I have seen, it looks like someone has paid over $300 for a copy, original press of this. I'd say maybe I've shown you $300 worth of records. So that leaves $300 left to show you with just one record. So there you go. I'm going to be showing you a pretty nice record. So thanks for being here, everyone. But now I mentioned that record, the with Julie Newmar on the cover. I really want it. It's a grail to me. And I don't know. I'm just really, more than anything, I'm fascinated with the cover. I think the music's probably boring and forgettable, and the cover is where it's at. So I have had a lot of luck finding like other people's like cheesecake grails, and like maybe this luck, or I guess the Beverly Kenny isn't so much a cheesecake. Great cover. She's a lovely lady. But like, I've had luck with like stuff like that, or finding bedtime music in Shenandoah, Iowa, or the Jane Mansfield. So I have had a lot of luck finding some great cheesecake type records, and still haven't found How to Make Love to a Blonde. Well, this would be another one, and I am just going to show you. And at first, upon seeing this, I wasn't like stoked. Then I got home, and then I was like, 1970, Josie and the Pussycats. First off, can anyone appreciate this? Put a thumbs up in the chat if you can appreciate this. I'll kind of start talking about this. So, what Josie and the Pussycats really was, it was like a Hanna-Barbera TV show. Lasted like a couple seasons, and they put an album out to go with it at the same time. And I mean, I never really watched the show. I did sort of like, kind of catch up to it, as I was learning about Josie and the Pussycats here. But this is a fun record. Now, this goes for, in the shape that it's in, or so a sealed copy I've seen go for around $400. In the shape this is in, I think possibly around a $300 record. I don't know. We do got a cut or a punch hole cover here, and then a little bit wear to the vinyl, but it plays great. But killer record. This is it's gonna sound like that mainstream funk from that time. Reminded me a little bit of like Honeycomb on Hot Wax, like like the One ads maybe a little bit. But this is gonna be like maybe throwback a little, like you'll hear some Motown ish to it. But this is a great killer girl group record. Now, let me sort of show you the back here. First off, Josie, who is Kathy Duger. This lady here, I don't know that she really went on to do a whole lot. Here, right here is Patrice Holloway, who is, I guess, speaking of Motown, is the younger sister of Brenda Holloway. And yeah, you'll hear a lot of Motown influence on here. In fact, they do cover "I'll Be There," which was written by Berry Gordy, and but the lady in this group, in this incarnation of them anyway, this is on the back cover says Cherie Moore from South Dakota. This hot young blonde right here went on to be like the famous of these three uh, under the name Cheryl Ladd. She put out a lot of like maybe bad like teen pop records, or maybe it was sort of catered to that sort of market. But they're not like I've never owned one, but they're not hard to find. And I think maybe because they're not like particularly great, but this record is particularly great. In fact, I think this is their like the three of them their shining moment for whatever music career they would have had, especially for Cheryl Ladd. Now, very rare record. This is the only pressing of it. I did see online there was like a Rhino handmade CD, which limited to 5,000. I know they always kept those very limited, but no, this record actually very killer. You do have a little bit of the Motown influence to it, or I mean I don't know. I'm trying to like pinpoint it because it's like they were very much like a manufactured girl group for their time, but at the same time, I mean very different than like what manufactured means today. Speaking of which, there is like a more modern. Well, at this point, I think it was like early 2000s. They did a different. They brought back Josie and the Pussycats. They did a movie. I think they did a record also, which I have not listened to that, but this was totally killer. By far one of the best finds that I've had all year, and yeah, was not did not walk into that sale there with this on my mind, but very happy to own it. Very great record. I eventually do want to sell it and make some money on it, but I had to stop and appreciate it too. So there you go. That is one of the best hauls I've had all year. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link. So if anyone wants to come up, chat records, has questions about those records, or you want to show some records, I'd love to have you. Hit the like button if you haven't already, or if you like these records. Well, I don't know. I mean, Mazzy wasn't showing records like this the other day. He was showing some decent 45s. But come on, guys. Am I not showing some of the best records in the VC? I mean, come on. I think only Vinyl Piper. I don't even think Dom is really showing this many great records that consistently. Yeah, I said it. So, anyways, if you guys want to, chat some records, I was thinking about maybe doing this every Thursday, but we'll see. It's all dependent on what you guys think, what you guys want to see, and I have been a little bit exhausted. I don't know that I know my theme lately over the last year has been going out. These are the records I found today, and I think I might try to switch it up a little bit, and especially going through 45s, maybe re-theme the show a little bit. But anyways, yeah, no, those were the records. Maybe I built it up a little bit too much, or whatever, but I'm pretty satisfied. I haven't really been going around the city. Maybe found a few things at the Goodwill, but I've actually kind of been exhausted from records. uh, Maybe I said that earlier. Maybe it's also the going through the 45s is keeping me exhausted a little bit, but that's okay. Anyways, I had something a little controversial I wanted to talk about, but I was gonna kind of playing it by ear. So, but I will mention when I was on Discogs earlier. I don't know how many of you are Discog shoppers, but I noticed earlier they added the feature that you can finally now add photos to your listing. So this is a huge game changer. I don't know how gung ho I am about I'm going to be about adding photos, but I'm sure I'm going to be getting a lot of emails saying, "Hey, man, all these people have photos," and it might be like, it might become like a standard on the platform. Now, I also wanted to throw out there, if shipping rates go up any higher, I've been thinking about pulling out of online sales. So, because they are pretty high, I'm actually quite surprised I've actually been even been able to make it profitable. But anyways, Wax is selling his George Jones for 2K plus. He's got to outdo me. He can't. You know, he can't. You know, now that he's got that record, he's got to do better. Apologies if you've been asked this 1,000 times, but what's a 7 inch in the frame? You're the first one to ask, but I did show it on another stream. This is the Link Ray. I'll show it again real quick. No, I just actually had this framed up at Mangelson's here in Omaha, and my father opened the show and had Link Ray sign this, and this was 6 months before his passing. So this is a signed copy. Says 2005 Link Ray of Rumble. His big, well-known hit and banned from radio play. Deemed too raunchy, I guess I'll say. So there you go. And then I do have the 10-inch shellac of the Bessie Smith, which I also showed on that same stream. So there you go. Maslow is pathetic. He really doesn't need me to run him down. He's desperate for attention. So he had a stream where he was showing some 45s, and that's kind of, maybe that inspired me a little bit to get a few of mine out. But I didn't know where to begin, because he was showing like a lot of hits, like a lot of 70s hits, which I think maybe that's just what he got from the guy. But 45s can be hard to collect, and they're exhausting, like going through them and going to your turntable back and forth multiple times. You'll end up doing, like, I kind of felt like I was doing laps around my apartment listening to 45s. But anyways, I got to get through them. Very tiring, but I just have so many of them, and my goal is to at least listen to every single one of them. And then I don't know if you guys remember that I did show, like, I was sort of discarding 45s that either maybe they played okay, but the value wasn't worth it, or I don't know. My father held on to a lot of stuff, and I can't ask him why at this point. Either he held on to it because it's a song he liked, but could have very well been like a leftover 45 from a batch of 45s he sold through. So I don't know. But getting to know people through their collections, and a lot of cool rockabilly in there. I like to call them. I'm getting to know rockabilly a little bit, and I'm no expert, but I got a lot of it. I got a lot of, like, a lot of those comps, like those. I got a collection, or a big box of records from a guy. Not the greatest record deal, but I got a lot of rockabilly, and there's a lot of, I don't know, I call them like Elvis impersonators, or there was a thing about, I'm still trying to understand that whole time frame, but like you know uh rockabilly was like the first, like, punk music in a way. It was like the first kind of rebel music in a lot of ways. But running into a lot of that, and then a lot of what I was going to mention about him, like you have these really sophisticated Elvis impersonators, I want to say. You got a lot of, maybe they're not so much rockabilly, but they really get that, like, teen idol pop. Like, maybe some really obscuro guy had a little talent, or had one song in him. So having fun with that. I would love to even present that, when I get more comfortable with that kind of stuff. Because, like I said, I'm no, like, rockabilly expert, but my father sure was. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out why he didn't, like, I don't know. When we hang out, his thing would be like, I'll play you guys 5 records, but it was never like anything too deep. And, like, for the amount of records that he's left me with, I'm like a little disappointed. Like, it would have been great to, like, I don't know, or for all this, like, company sleeve shit that I'm doing. Like, I have thought, like, what if my father could be in the room and we were doing this together? And I know, I know if he could, if he were looking down on me, he might appreciate that I'm doing the company sleeves. But if he were still alive and I were doing it in the same room as him, he'd be like, knock it off. He would, I don't know. He was a funny guy, but anyway, I don't know. I almost would like to have like a proper formal maybe video talking about his music, because I could talk about it objectively in a way. So but anyways, didn't see many people. There may have been a troll who popped backstage, but that's to be expected, right? Um, anyway, yeah, no, I didn't really have like a whole lot. I haven't really been doing a lot of record shopping, and to be honest, I think I did do like the Barnes and Noble 20% off thing, and only because I had it in the back of my head. But then I got home and I'm like, I was not impressed by the stuff that I got, and I don't know. I mean, it's just like maybe I need to like take a break, and almost like I feel like I want like other people I know to get records so that I can hear about like I can hear about someone else's big find that I missed. I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's not a good thing to do. You don't want to let other people get records, but at the same time, I've just been like, I don't know, man. It's like it looks like we got the waxed in here trolling. So anyway, excuse me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think this is the wax. Well, welcome to the waxed. I guess this is a place where the wax comes to take his anger out. For all the times, we mess up his chat or something, or Arnie messes up his chat. I don't know. I think you should take it as like an opportunity to entertain people, and not seem so hurt and have so many hurt feelings waxed. But check out Madam Sin. Yeah, actually, he's been here a few times, and when I am talking about 45s, Madam Sin does get very interested. I actually, when I'm planning and thinking about the type of shows I would like to have, I think about him, and I would like to make a show that he would be impressed by. And as long as I do that, it's like 5 people could come to the show, and as long as the one legit guy likes it, I could care less about anyone else's opinion. So, anyways, I think I talked to Brandon. I don't know if I guess he's working, but I was uh, asked him about maybe coming up here showing a record, but no, that's all right. I don't know that I have anything around me that I planned record talk for, but I guess we could go an hour and maybe for the Thursday show. I don't know if I have every Thursday in me, but William knows exactly what's going on. He is divine. I think I show the best records in the VC. I guess sometimes I got to toot my own horn, but I kind of feel like maybe that's why, you know, people don't like me because because I find all the good records, right? That's not the way it should be. You know, this guy finds good records. We want to see what's up, So yeah, no, I guess DJ Trish, welcome. Um, Father, forgive William for he not know what he said. Did I say something wrong? Anyways, if DJ Trish is here, I could have said anything. Uh, I could have said anything that was terrible and offended DJ Trish. You never want to do that. Anyways, I got zero sleep last night, so trying to wind down. Yes, I have weird sleep every night. You want to know like a life? I guess I could shed a little. Uh, secret about me or something. Uh, I get weird cravings like in the middle of the night, and I'll like wake up and eat a peanut butter sandwich like several times throughout the week, like my whole life. So there you go. I don't know. We all have our things, and sometimes I wake up late and eat a sandwich. Hey, welcome, James Farley. Um, dissing Mazzy and Dom, is that being blasphemous? Is what you're saying? Because if you're saying that, you would be putting them into a godlike light, which I think is blasphemous. DJ Trish, you should know better. Anyways, I legitimately think, like I was saying, I think I showed better records than Dom and Mazzy combined. I think I showed more valuable records than on anyone else's personal wall they create for themselves. And I don't know, maybe I'm just, bragging a little. I don't know why. Because everyone likes to be a YouTube vinyl celebrity and all that. And I think I focus on the numbers that truly matter. The records that you have. And I mean, we can't all be Dylan Noble Records and have the subscribers and the rare records to go along with it. We can't all be kings. But I guess if I had to pick between the two, I'd rather have great records. So there you go. Uh, um, okay, I know. Well, I'm glad we could have a little sense of humor there. But I mean, come on. I mean, Mazzy disses me enough, and I think Dom has made enough passive aggressive jabs. So there you go, man. Right back at you. So then, just have fun. That's what we do here. Anyway, speaking of which, Wax makes his own goober mixes, home brand peanut butter and jelly. That's impressive, actually. If he does that, a little weird, but yeah, that's crazy. I've never bought that stuff. That stuff just looks weird to me. Or it's like there's two PB&J products on the market that I just don't trust, and the other one is Uncrustables, and then the Goober peanut butter and jelly mix. I've never understood it. And I don't know. I go in phases with jelly. And here's the other thing. I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for real because um they're cheap, and it's not necessarily that I'm a cheap eater because I do eat on a budget. That's a good thing to have a budget for when you're a vinyl record collector. But nothing's more filling than a glass of milk and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then I love going in phases with like flavors of jelly, like grape jelly. Sometimes you'll switch it up and go strawberry. I don't know, but I never go with the goober. That's just wrong. Matter of fact, anybody who uses goober or eats Uncrustables, I don't trust you. So there you go, William. How did you like the Burl Ice? Yeah, thanks. That was cool of you. I always like, if you had me in mind on a song dedication, then I appreciate that. So and I will be, maybe you're I don't know if these are passive aggressive jabs, and I need to be more appreciative of Burl Ives, but it might be uh, you might see that around the corner. But yeah, okay. So we got on topic here. It looks like. So anyways, I had a steak tonight. Every Thursday is steak night at this one spot, and it's just the deal is so good that I've been doing it every week. And I said, how long are you guys doing this for? Through football season? I'm like, I'm eating steak every Thursday night through football season. So I love it. So that's why also it's good to have, PB and J, because you gotta have steak night every week through football season, then you gotta throw the budget off a little, gotta even it out a little. So but anyways, no guest. It's okay. It's all right. Little you guys are shy. I understand, an hour long for the first episode. I don't know, man, unless I can think of I don't know. I just I got to come up with better ideas than just like the records I just found today. So maybe it's up to me, or maybe I should just quit. But anyways, well, we got someone else here, or another comment here. So Noble Records just does commercials for his store. Matt, yeah, I follow Noble on Instagram, and it is good to see what he gets in. I think a lot of people like selling to Noble Records because their collections get notoriety, or like Dylan will make a video, or like if you ever get a like, of course, what comes to mind is the serial killer collection is a good one. He's got some great stories, and I think because he has a YouTube channel, people do sort of seek him out for stuff. It is it's amazing. I learned about the Robert Ludwig hot mix through Dylan Noble Records. It's amazing how many copies of that have been through his store in the last like 5 years. It makes you wonder. I mean, it's not a rare record. I think people, that's another record online, especially Discogs. I think people try to overcharge for a Robert Ludwig hot mix. I let one go for $80 in the auction that I just had. So that's how many people who had eyes on it. So I've bought a copy for $10 before. I've sold a copy for a couple $100. I don't know. The market changes every day. And another thing, I guess, we're not done. We're still here. Let me finish here. So, Maslow's lives in a bottom. Actually, been kicked off the Jaska. Oh, yeah, no, I think the Waxed. I might tune in. I think he's got a show tomorrow morning. I guess if Arnie's going to be in there trolling, maybe I'll have it on in the background because sometimes that is a bit, you know, funny to watch him get all, lose his temper over a little troll comment. But Six Beatles is that he always spells Maslow with an F. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I want to mention, I guess, something about maybe the collection, not collection, but the records I just found. And, I did have a little bit of luck with some grails here in some recent months. And there's been people around the VC or people around the VC who want to push like CDs on you and tell you that grails aren't a thing anymore. So I guess, maybe that's the title of the video. Maybe I should go ahead and tell you guys that, yeah, Barnes and Noble paid for me to do this live stream. I know I was just going to end it, but I guess I forgot. As long as they're paying me, I better talk and tell you guys that you need to buy CDs because, well, Concert Buddy had a stream a couple weeks ago, I think, about, or do CDs sound better? And I think what he really wants you to think is like, first off, there's no more grails. Second off, go ahead and just acknowledge that CDs are digital. You grew up with them. They sound better. And CDs are for poor people, is what he was trying to say. And, I don't know that I like that narrative. I almost see that as a clever way, is like maybe he's trying to elevate himself as a superior vinyl collector. I don't know what his deal is, but let me tell you what, guys. Is this the vinyl community or is this the CD community? Now, I guess I still look for CDs. I love music, and recently I found that Omaha rapper Toot. That was a true gem. I guess I will mention. I think I've had that CD for about 6 weeks, and it has not left my car CD player. So I am that hooked on that CD. But to sit here and say that, like, CDs are superior, I will tell you what, in my opinion, sounds better than CDs and LPs are 45s. And I think you get a better fidelity, better sound in general. It's analog, especially if you got a good, high fidelity system. Your best sound comes from a 45, or probably even like, some of these, like, I'll say that whatever Acoustic Sounds is doing at like 45 speed. I do have one of their releases. Stuff at, that's cut at like 45 audiophile. I don't know. There's something about 45 speed that you can pack greater sound into it. So yeah, I CDs are all right. I don't know that I'll ever sell out and start telling you guys to you know CDs sound better and throw vinyl out the window. But I guess I'm vinyl all day. I've been carrying around, lugging it around for this many decades. I'm not going to stop now. But anyways, yeah. Here's what I was going to say about Grails: is if I'm finding one a week here, like I was. Here's the thing: is like people are giving up their collections every day, or even year to year. Vinyl collectors, people pass away, lose their collections, pass it on to families who like, I don't know what to do with this. So grails are going to pop up. I don't think it's worth giving up on. And then also, I don't really, I okay. I don't like, okay. I try to stay in tune with like what young people are interested in. So like for example, like when I'm at a record show or when I'm selling records at a record table and I got a young person come up to me, I had a young little feller, maybe he was like 12 or 13, and he bought my Black Sabbath Vertigo press. And I mean, I wanted $100 for it and he paid for it. But what I pay attention to is what they buy and how much they are paying for it. And like I've seen people they're paying $40 for like, someone's greatest hits collection. And maybe it's a reissue colored double LP or something. Big whoop. Like there are these types of people going to be paying like every time they go out to buy a record is going to be a one-stop $40 thing, or are they going to figure out you can get records for cheaper? And this is a whole, you know yeah, I mean, I forked over a lot of dough for certain records. I guess I'll mention this haul that I got from another guy who is a vendor himself. I got a killer almost. I mean, I paid him enough, but I still feel like I got a killer deal. And like, that's the thing. It's like you don't have to like, give everyone your money and get like I've seen young people get such less bang for their buck on one purchase, and it makes me kind of fear for the future because it's like, not all records are $40 records. Or like I've seen these people walk up to pay $20 for a record that I've seen out in the wild or even seen at the Goodwill for like less than $5. So I am just a little bit peculiar. I know the market changes day to day, year to year, decade to decade. And then people like, there's been like, I remember like mid to late 2000s when I was getting like hip hop records for like $5 each and like originals and everything like and just like there was just a small window of time like nobody cared. So I predict something like that around the corner. And so this whole notion of grails or like, we got to give up on the grails and settle for some like acoustic sounds reissue. I am not in that mindset yet. And I don't know. That's partly why I want to keep the channel going. And, I know there's maybe been some discouragement. It's time to throw in the towel. But, I disagree wholeheartedly. If I'm out and about and I'm finding this great stuff, I'm getting good deals on it. I'm happy about the records I'm getting. I'm very uh, thrilled about owning this, and with other records in the back of my head, I'm still discovering records that I didn't know I would love, and that's the great thing about vinyl. And anyways, we got a Comet Six Beetle. The only thing concert Baldy is interested in is jumping to what flavor of the day he can. One of them people, trends get trendy. Anyways, Davey and I wrote a few songs together. I guess I haven't really heard very much from him. I don't know if maybe he threw in the towel. You know, can't do YouTube forever. You got to live your life and find other stuff to do. But I think maybe am I getting better at comment jockeying a little? Maybe we just got some good comments. But anyway, kids today are shying away from digital music services and going. I have heard that like they maybe are bringing back like DVD and Blu-ray. I've never been into like owning. I've never been a DVD guy, but I guess no. I saw some like news story pop up where like young people are embracing physical media again, and it's showing them like interviewing them with like their Blu-rays and stuff. So no, that's cool. There is something like I did subscribe to Netflix during the pandemic. There's something like it just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Netflix. I tried it out and it just I don't know. I'm always gonna be the type of person like iTunes. I maybe bought like 7 songs total on iTunes one time. I don't even know why at this point, but I just like can't hold that, you know? Once you own records, it's everything else. It just like streaming is like I don't know what it is, man. I here's what here's what it is. I did mention talking about a controversial topic. Um, I guess if someone else wants to jump up, if the StreamYard link is there, if you want to get the controversial topic out of me, um, there's a StreamYard link. But gosh, what was I going to say? Anyways, controversial topic. Now I sort of threw myself off there, but anyways, vinyl and reissued vinyl. I guess I could dance around that topic a little bit. I did sort of like pick thought up a little bit back up a little bit there. Is like, I think people are maybe sort of waking up and, new vinyl can be repressed at any time. I know that maybe there was like a time recently uh, where people were going a little bit crazy on certain types of new vinyl. And I think that's slowed down. Maybe record store day, stuff like that has popped people's bubble a little bit. But I want to ask you guys, and this is in light of like, I don't know, did you guys hear that? Did Trump invade Iran here this week? Did I maybe hear him quietly say, we hit them pretty hard? I don't know. I haven't heard anyone in the VC really say anything about that. Um, I actually heard about that and thought like maybe Mazzy's ears would perk up and maybe he'd be a big Trump supporter, but had me thinking, where's the next decade of vinyl reissues coming from? You know? And do we really need a next decade of vinyl reissues? I just am wondering. And like I said, do all these new young people, like I told that kid buying that Black Sabbath record, that's one of the best sounding records you're gonna own of that Master of Reality. But I don't know what kind of system he has. I don't know if he's gonna take that home to like a little Crosley turntable or what. You know, uh, a little concerned, and and here's the other thing with like certain like audiophile presses. I am I know a lot of people in the VC who are audiophiles, maybe Steve Westman, maybe there are certain people out there who do like to argue this is the best sounding press and is makes all other presses inferior, and I disagree with that. I think I have said at least a few times. Um, it might be cool to own a few different types of presses, and maybe you will hear things or get a better feel or different sort of feel for the album based on how it's mixed. But I don't see anyone up here coming up to stop this rant. Or anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna get too controversial on here, but it does seem like, a pretty big event happened. You know, I don't really. I'm a little bit afraid to talk about war here on the channel, but I mean, I could totally relate it to vinyl, 100%. And how we seem to be going after certain countries that aren't really that interested in vinyl. But in my opinion, older audiophiles are just trying to hear what they could hear at 25. I was gonna say, aren't you guys like getting to the point where like you need hearing aids? No, not pointing anyone out, like not you, James Farley, or anyone out specifically, but like is the reason why you need a new mastering is because you just got a new hearing aid? Own this pressing if you have a hearing aid. Anyways, if you guys want to say hello, Ruth Ann Seven's hanging out. What's
Oh,
up?
I just had dinner. I
What'd you
figure
eat
I
for
helped you
dinner?
stop your rant.
Well, there you
Well, you
go.
know what you were saying about, which pressing is good and what I think that's a really personal thing. I mean,
I don't.
everybody
I
kind
think
of
it's
hears what they
overrated. I
like.
think they just want to some big wig at the record labels telling them to talk about a certain pressing, so you'll go out and buy it. But I think we
Oh,
figured it
well,
out. They all just need new hearing aids. They just need a new battery in their hearing aid. All
you're
this
probably
audiophile talk
right.
is bullshit.
Well, you're
Anyways,
probably right about that.
what'd you think of this record cover here? Have you ever listened to this?
I don't think I have. I
So
don't think I have.
I'm gonna zoom in just so you can see this a little better here. But yeah, Zither Magic by Ruth Welcome. No, I thought it was
Oh,
very
that's
cool how
great.
you kind of been out off the channel here for a little while. I haven't seen you in a while. And the day I found this
Oh,
record, you popped back in. So that was pretty cool. But
that
anyways,
is very, yeah, that's funny.
yeah, no, this this record.
I'm part of a few different communities, so we had this big thing going on in the other one. I told you it was like World War III over there, so I had to escape, and now they're on to another thing, and so I'm not. No, it's a world war. It's kind of like what happens in the VC, only more vicious,
We're always looking for an
if that's
enemy, man. Some
possible.
people just need an enemy to get by in life.
I think adrenaline is addictive. I really do. I mean,
Yeah, that life gets boring for people, and so sometimes fighting is like the adrenaline rush they need. Anyway, what do you think of this?
oh,
It's like Mazzy trying to push his Rhino agenda. I'd say, yeah, it's he's
a
had that
rhino
Rhino agenda
agenda?
going
What's
on for at
that?
least a few years now.
Well, what's a rhino agenda?
Well, that's just when Mazzy gets all up on the live stream, and he's telling everyone to go buy the new Devo and ZZ Top box
Oh,
set, and you know, uh, Bernie Grunderson
well, it
this,
doesn't mean they have
Gavin Craig
to.
that. I mean,
It doesn't
it's
mean
all
they
a
have
bunch
to
of
go buy it.
it's all a bunch of bullshit to me. you know, uh, I will. I think that's what I was mentioning earlier. Is I have so much fun going out and discovering new records every day that I don't think I could sell out
Sure.
to I could be a record shill, or even William the Flipper. That's the one thing you guys can't point at me and say that I'm also a record shill. Certainly not the case. Anyway,
Oh, I remember. Now, was that your other screen name, or was somebody making fun of you, or
I
how
think
did that work? It was a sock account,
Davey threw
right?
that name on me, and I just sort of
Oh,
ran with it a little
six.
bit.
I'm really tired. I'm in bed. I just thought
Well,
I, trying to wind down. It's been a crazy day. Did you know? Oh, you probably don't know. I moved to Arkansas.
I did not know. No, I haven't kept up with you.
Yeah, from California. I moved 2,000 miles. I've been here a year this month. So I still have 2 storage units. Oh my God. But I have more than one video up on my channel. Yay, me. Everybody
Yeah,
go look at my channel eventually.
check out. Yeah, no, drop a link to your or I'll drop a link. I think I think someone with the wrench has to do it so you can make it clickable. But we'll do that for
Okay.
you. But I want to answer. Mike
Thank
Weisfield
you.
says here, who wants to
I'm not
drop?
all that excited. What?
Well, we got an interesting. I got an interesting perspective on this. Who wants to drop hundreds on ZZ Top in 2026? Now, actually, at this last record show, someone had one of those in their crate, and we started talking about all those Rhino hi-fis. And there's a guy who's a vendor here in town who loves the Rhino hi-fis, and he said like they are now becoming his go-to versions. And so like, which I was a little surprised. Like,
Really?
no, I don't own any Rhino hi. I do have a good system, and I'm sure those ZZ Top new masters would sound great. But I have all
Mhm.
originals, every one on London first presses, and those to me, that's the way I think that they were meant to be heard. And I do think you do bend a little bit with artist intent, but the real reason they do this is to sell a product, and they're all about making money.
If you're
And
into sales, you're into sales. I mean, it's possible, I
yeah,
think. Okay, here's my
they
idea.
always come
I
up
think
with
it's
an
possible to
excuse.
sell records, right? Well, it's also possible to like do other things and have like crazy topics or something funny,
Yeah, it's
Because I mean, you're good at humor, William. You're always good at that. I mean, your
well, it seems
parodies are
like Maz is either
hilarious.
talking about Rhino hi-fi reissues or he's dumping on someone he doesn't like very much. But anyways, uh, real quick,
Yeah, but you don't need to do that. You don't
I
need to
try
do
not to do
that.
that. But there's a question here for you. Let me read it here. I don't know how serious this is, but I guess if the answer is yes, please tell us. Have you ever seen Bill and Hillary in Arkansas?
No, but it's a little horrifying. I see Clinton this or Bill oh God, and I just think they're horrible people.
Well, I was gonna
Absolutely
say
horrible
I was
people.
tiptoeing around some controversial topics tonight. Have you heard very much about something called the Clinton body count?
Oh yeah.
Do people talk
Oh
about that in
yeah.
Arkansas?
No, I don't know that many people here. I have I have a friend who's also a Wiccan like myself,
Okay.
and we've known each other for a couple months now, so that's been fun. And then I have this other friend, and he does music. He does like rap and stuff. Um, so he just lives around the corner from me. So I'm meeting people here and there, and then I've gone
That's good.
to some charity, yeah, some charity shops, and I've been actually looking through the vinyl, William.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
even have gear.
look out for a copy of this.
I
You got to
will.
find one now.
If I did go looking, I'd probably find it. I'd
Well, yeah,
probably find it.
check out some record stores, and yeah, I bet you it's not that hard. I mean, if I can find a copy, I bet you it's a lot easier than you think. But
Oh, probably.
cool record.
He's
I think you would
Misha.
love it too. I think you would love a record like that.
Well, I don't have a record player.
Well, now
I don't have a record. Yeah,
you
listen,
got to get a
William.
record player.
I have 2 storage units full of crap. Yeah, I'd love to have one. It'd be nice. I mean, there's loads of people are dumping stuff all over the place here.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You
they
got a
have
lot of
these
that going
estate
here
sales.
too. So
Yeah, and people are just because where I live is it's in Sherwood, and it's a very it's an older um it's an older crowd, and it's really country here. It's a nice neighborhood, real nice. I mean, not gentrified or anything like that. Just nice people. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Real quick, I'm just kind of reading through some comments here. So, Clinton body count, is that the same as the Garth body count? Who's winning? What is the Garth body count? I guess
I don't know.
that's one I haven't heard.
Wow, Trish.
I had 200 records
Well,
before.
yeah, I
You
guess
got to get
CDs would
those
be a lot
numbers up.
easier for you to use.
Yeah, you got to get those numbers up.
Trying to
More
move stuff,
vinyl.
right?
Anyways, here's another question for you. Ruth Ann, did you like Dark Shadows TV show?
I did, James. I did. I used to run home from school, William, and it would come on every afternoon at 4 o'clock, and I'd sit in front of the TV. It was so exciting, and they had this weird music. Ooh-wee, ooh, it was crazy.
I've never
Loved it.
seen it, so
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. You're gonna think it's so campy. You really will. I mean, it is very campy because it was back in the 60s, for crying out loud. And it's about a vampire, okay? And he's like really old, and he's got, lives in a mansion, and it's like a soap opera with vampires and witches and magic. Okay, but it's really low tech. So it's kind of fun, and there's all these weird romances going on. I haven't really watched it in years, but I loved it when I was a kid. Loved it.
well, I'll have to check
Do you
this
know
out.
that show Supernatural? Do you know that show
No, I don't.
Supernatural?
Okay.
Oh God, you don't know what you're missing. It's hilarious.
See, I'm not
I was gonna
a
say,
television show buff, so I apologize.
oh, okay.
One of my lacking areas in life. But anyways, speaking of lacking areas, I had no idea about this. Garth Brooks, rumor has it, is he's a serial killer, and there's some okay,
Right.
so I was talking
Yes.
about controversial topics. This is one I've never heard before, but
You haven't? Oh my God. Yeah, I've heard of that.
well, Arnie, you got a wrench. Could you post a link of one of the videos you're talking about, and I'll bring it up here on the stream. And
Oh,
I don't know
William,
how
it's a
much of
big
that we could
deal.
actually watch, but what's that?
It's a big deal.
Oh yeah, no. You hear a lot of these stories about rich, high-profile names who get away with crimes that it's shocking.
It is
Sometimes
shocking.
crimes
Totally shocking.
that they get away
Yeah,
with, like the Clinton body count, for example. It's like
I know.
it makes you not want to
Yes.
believe it.
Oh, you know
So
what? Clinton has a bastard here in North Little Rock, and everybody knows about it.
I've heard that
And
as
the
well.
woman,
Yep. No, he is that the kid who's made appearances. He made some appearances on Alex Jones.
is he a black kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really nice. Everybody likes him apparently, but he looks like Bill, they say. I don't see it, but that's what people say.
Yeah. No, he looks. I do see like he's got facial features of Bill Clinton.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
isn't it
and
around the eye
the
area?
story sounds like it doesn't sound like something that you would just make up. I will say that,
No.
and it sounds like
Everybody knew about it, William.
well,
Everybody knows
it sounds very
everybody's business around here.
characteristic of like his sort of like his lifestyle back then. It rings true with the rumors. And give me
Yeah,
just a second here.
that would be typical for around here. I mean, just everybody knows everybody and their business. So that's just what I'm noticing. What can I say?
So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly. I'm not gonna play the video, but thanks Arnie for dropping the link. I guess this is
Yeah, there's a
thing.
map, William. Look for the map.
So real quick, James Farley, someone asked about the 45 on the wall. That's the Link Ray autograph. If you want to rewind, I did show that a little earlier. So but yeah, no, I'm sort of a true crime sort of like
okay.
nerd, or not nerd. I've sort of like, okay, so I used to kind of binge watch those shows, but it's like I go in phases with it. So it's like I'll like binge watch like a certain show for like 2 months, and then I'm like I can't do it at all. But like this seems like something like wild enough. And no, I have heard there's like
you would like this. You would like this. Yeah.
There's stories
definitely
of politicians.
suspicious.
Yeah, there's stories of politicians who have a long
Oh, and Obama
lengthy,
now
yeah,
too.
lengthy trail of crime, that you'd
Yeah.
be shocked to find out. Or even did you know what's his name? Ted Bundy is a serial killer, former politician too. And I think they had a lot of like kind of a hard time catching him for a long time. And I think that
No
might have to do
kidding.
with like he knew how to sort of escape authorities just because he was a politician, or like in I know like up in Washington State, in California, and then his
Uh-huh.
ability to like bounce from state to state so uh, quickly and frequently made it,
Yeah, wasn't
brought
he kind of
law.
like a clean cut looking guy?
What now?
Oh, wasn't he clean cut?
Yeah, no, he had that like actor, movie star kind of look.
Nah,
He
yeah, I
he
know
had a
who you're
look
talking
like
about. Exactly.
I think he was really good at like attracting
He looked like
women
Dick
as like
Cavett.
study partners, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you
no,
know who?
that's sometimes like that's the thing, is like he had charisma. Or what's that? uh or there's a movie, I think he's an American Psycho, a little bit about that, like the guy just he's really charismatic. He wouldn't like strike you as a creeper. Maybe that's why he's so good at what he does. I don't know.
I don't
Obama
know.
had,
I don't know. But it's almost like the whole world is going topsy turvy with
yeah. See,
all this stuff being exposed.
oh yeah,
It's
no,
really,
well,
it's
I'll tell you what.
Rich
So this was
Dickens.
gonna be a little bit of the top. So I've heard this a little bit too, Arnie, and I've seen some videos. I see. I don't know. I thought about like talking about this stuff, and truthfully, there's nothing like me or you could do as citizens to change any of it. And like if you try or you get close to it, they'll like they'll off you, or they'll expose you, or they'll like I use the term they,
Yeah,
they have
everybody
a
does.
higher agenda that you know okay. So the other thing I was going to mention, so I go on Instagram Reels and TikTok, and what they do is sometimes like I like watching what's trending. So like what people are trending memes, trending dances, all kind of. I don't really get into those, but like for example, like so Duke Gomez. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's got like 4
I
million.
might because I'm on Instagram all the time.
Well, Duke Gomez is this guy who like makes fun of like all the young generation doing all this dumb stuff on social media, like rapping lyrics, or just acting like tools basically. So I kind of got into his stuff. And then there's this other
Yeah.
guy, let me try to find this other guy. His name's Cannon Hands. And he's super hilarious. So like at first like people start making fun of him, but he's actually funny in what he does, and he has this sort of look like he's like Calvin Klein. Like he reminds me of like that old Calvin Klein model from the
Uh-huh.
90s. But
Oh, gee.
no, there's this dude here who let me show you. Okay. I'm gonna just zoom in. So like this guy, like talking about like trending stuff, this guy like pops
Yeah.
up on my like feed, and then like people will like make reaction videos like making fun of his like I don't know. Check out this guy Cannon Hands, because like there is sort of like a rabbit
Okay.
hole, and like or like there's like a whole rabbit hole once you start doom scrolling in general.
Oh,
But anyways,
I go down those all the time.
no, it went from like one night it was showing me nothing but Duke Gomez, Cannon Hands, and people reacting to like stuff, and I'm like, all right, this is funny. Till and then like all of a
Yeah.
sudden one day it's showing me Israel and Palestine conflict. I'm like, wait a second, like
Yeah.
I've never like I've like looked into it a little bit, but like I don't
Yeah.
like look at it every day, and it's like pushing on me, like it is forcing it into my
Yeah.
face, and it's really strange because I don't like look that stuff up, and that seems like a really funny thing that like a social media platform like Instagram would try to throw in your face is the
I
Israeli-Palestine
agree.
conflict. So, anyways, yeah.
It's like there's a failure in the algorithm, you know?
Well, they must be wanting me to see something, is my guess, or maybe they want to see
Oh,
how I
that's
react to it,
interesting.
because that's the other thing is
Right.
like, a lot of these like apps and everything, especially like Instagram, like they want to track what you're doing, and they might want to see how I react to the Israeli Palestine conflict. So I'm on the app, I
Oh,
remain neutral, but I think that would be an interesting topic. And then,
I had not thought of that.
well,
Good
to the people who
thinking.
say like that's going outside of vinyl community chat, as though enough people don't do that already. But anything, especially like any like world event like that, you can tie that in to what we talk about
I
here.
think I think we all seem to have this love of music. Let's just say that, right? And
Well, who
yet we
doesn't?
have other aspects of our lives, you know,
Yeah,
and of the world. I think it's all interesting and it all ties together. I mean, why else do we make music? For every
right.
human condition, there is a
Anyway,
song.
I'm going to read DJ Trish here. If you like true crime, you might enjoy Lamont at Large. I have checked out his channel. He's got like one of the biggest true crime channels on YouTube. And in fact, it's like basically self-made. So he's not one of those like cookie cutter type YouTubers. Like YouTube will push cookie cutters like to the moon. And Lamont at Large is not a cookie cutter. He will like literally travel to certain grave sites. He does a lot of his own research on certain people and
Really? Okay.
certain events. So yeah, no, he's got a great channel. I've watched a lot of his videos, but yeah, no one. Sometimes you get bored watching vinyl videos and you take the true crime path sometimes. But
Sure. Have you
anyways,
seen that guy? He calls himself Nunchuckus Dragon,
I
and it's a parody
I don't know
account.
everybody, so
It's okay. This guy, he tells like the tallest tales in the world, and it's all he just makes up stories. And everybody, well, a lot of us know that he's satire, but there's so many people who don't, and his stories are so absurd, and people get really genuinely upset with them in the comments, and we just die laughing because we go along with the guy who's doing the video and we say, "Oh no, all this is real," you know, it's like totally fake. It's
yeah.
really fun.
Marilyn Monroe
Yeah,
read
I like stuff like that.
Marx and admired the Chinese Revolution. She was a firm anti-racist and married a blacklisted playwright. Yeah, no, she was another one, sadly mistreated and manipulated, and another life ended in tragic mystery too.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Oh wow!
Killigan had a file that would choke a horse in the Kennedy situation, and they gave her a sleeping pill overdose. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
no.
that's right. I remember about Dorothy Killigan. I remember. Yeah,
We got the
yeah.
wax still hanging out. Holy crap, this is boring. Great show though. So we must be a
All
at
right,
least better.
Dave. Always good
I
to
bet
hear
you.
from Dave.
I bet you anything. This is the waxed making on
No,
trolling.
it's Dave, the pickup artist.
No, it's the waxed. Florida no pants
Ah,
man.
no.
Yeah, it's someone
Surely he
making
wouldn't
fun of Dave.
imitate Dave.
It's the
He
wax.
wouldn't.
But anyways,
He wouldn't do
this
that.
is boring but great show. I was gonna say we're up against Concert Buddy. It's not that hard to be more interesting than some dude with a robot audience.
Oh, you guys and your dick fights. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Anyways, I don't really care. I got better records. That's all I care about. So
You know what? Right now in my other community, there's this one gal, and she goes absolutely off the wall, railing at every other content creator she can think of in this one community. And she's like, they're all weird, they're all crazy, and yet she's the one who's absolutely hysterical, you know? And I just keep telling her, right, don't talk about her. Just don't talk about her. Just leave her be. Let her go nuts. You
yeah.
know, let these people go nuts. Do whatever they want. You do you, you know? That's the
You
way
got to
to go.
watch
You
out
don't
for
need
some people. Yeah, I don't know. I've entered areas that once you get in there, you're kind of thrown into the middle of everything. But anyways, I'm thinking about closing this one out. I think we've had plenty to chat. You got any records you want to
all
show
right.
us? R7.
Well, actually, no, because everything I own is in boxes right now.
Well, next
And
time you should show us some records.
well, actually, if it plays next time, I will show you some original music by me.
Oh no, you've done that before, haven't you?
Nope.
No, I thought you did before,
I
but
was
maybe I'm thinking of something different.
in
But
oh, I sang
for
Happy
sure.
Birthday to Harry one time, that's all. But I
Maybe
was in a
that's what it
blues
was.
band.
or, or,
Yeah,
or
I was
maybe
in a
Dave
blues
wrote a song
band.
for you or something. Maybe that's what I was thinking. But anyways, I'm thinking about closing
Maybe.
it out. But good having you here, Ruth Ann. And
Yeah, nice to see
yeah,
you too.
yeah. Thanks, guys, for
I thought it
joining.
was
Have a
time
good
to
little
say hi
record talk,
again.
record chat, and we'll see you next Thursday. How about that? All right, later,
All
people.
righty, you take care.
All right.
Bye, sis. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
All right. Well, I guess she just jumped out. I was gonna end it, but okay. Hey, that was a good little show here. And thanks, Trish, for being here. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to establish myself for a Thursday. I don't know. I like going live and shooting the shit with you guys, but I know that you got to, establish consistency. And, that's what you guys are looking for. I know. So maybe we'll get on that level here. You are right. It is the Wax. He's the worst at trolling. He's got absolutely no comeback ability. Yeah, or sometimes it's entertaining to watch him get all boo hoo when Arnie trolls him. But hey, I mean, that's the thing. It's like if the Wax came into my channel to troll tonight while Concert Buddy was going on, I'll take that as a W. Anyways, I guess we'll take you out, guys. All right. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Later.